Everyone needs a good sleep. Lack of sleep can affect your productivity. It can affect your relationship with people. It can affect your job. Good day and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm Ilo Ogwanimu. We'll be looking at sleep disorder. Our doctor today is not a person than Dr. David Wemi Ogbubine. He is the medical director of Indian Pain Center, Warri, Delta State, Nigeria. Dr. David, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, what is sleep disorder?
Okay, sleep disorder. When we're talking about sleep disorder, we're looking at different illnesses or different disorders that actually affect sleep. Yeah, for some of them it all affects sleep in different ways. For some of them it's difficult for you to fall asleep. For some of them, after falling asleep, then it's difficult for you to continue sleeping. For some of them, we carry out different activities even while we are sleeping, so some sort of disturbance in our sleeping time or sleep rhythm. So that's what sleeping disorder is. Okay,
so what are the types of sleep disorder?
There are several actually. Some of them are quite common, some of them are not very common. Number one, we can talk about insomnia. Insomnia is when you are finding it difficult to go to sleep at all, or you fall asleep but you can't sleep for a very long time. After an hour or so you're awake and you're staying awake all through the night. That's insomnia. And then there is snoring. Snoring is also a sleep disorder.
Wow.
Yeah, actually. So we all know what snoring is. Yes, so snoring is a sleep disorder. And then there is sleep apnea. Sleep apnea. With sleep apnea, what happens is when we sleep at night, sometimes there is difficulty breathing. So it's like our breathing is cut short at some point. So because of that, you might have to wake up, or it affects in different ways. That's sleep apnea. And then there are other sleep disorders as well, like we call them para-insomnia. What that means is like people who sleepwalk. You know, they are sleeping, then they can get up and then they'll start walking to the kitchen or walking to the living room.
Is it common? I like to see it in films. Is it common?
Well, it's not very common, but it happens it happens with a lot of people actually. Wow. Yeah, sometimes with children mostly, but then
So most time parents will be thinking that maybe the child plays a lot during the day.
Well, that could be the case, but it's a sleep disorder. So sleepwalking, some people talk in their sleep, so sleep talking. You know, some people, they just do like different kind of activities in the sleep. So those are different type of sleep disorders. There is something called restless leg syndrome. What happens is the person is trying to sleep, but the body is actually moving on its own. So the leg is kind of like just having its own activity going on there. So there are several types of sleep disorders actually.
So what about the most
common one is the first one I mentioned, which is insomnia. Insomnia. What happens with insomnia is that people find it difficult to go to sleep at all. For some people, they are in bed for like the first 1 hour, 2 hours, and they still can't fall asleep.
Yes.
But after they fall asleep, it's easy for them. They just sleep off. Yeah. Well, for some people, they might find it easy going to sleep, but after like an hour or two, they wake up and they can't go back to sleep. Well, for some people, they can't sleep at all. You know, they can't fall asleep, they can't continue sleep, they just can't sleep at all. So that is with insomnia, which is the most common type of sleep disorder.
Okay. So what are the causes?
Causes of insomnia. Okay. Number one, for a lot of people, would be stress. So stress can cause insomnia because your body is trying to rest at the end of the day, but we are not allowing the body to rest because our mind is still very active, probably because we're thinking of one thing or the other, or our body is still very stressed up because of the kind of day we had. So at the end of the day, we are not allowing the body to go to sleep because of how stressed up we are. So stress can be the major cause of insomnia. There are some drugs that can cause insomnia. There are some illnesses that can cause insomnia, but I think the major cause of insomnia for most people is actually stress and anxiety.
But drug can cause sleep disorder.
There are some drugs that can cause sleep disorders. So usually what I advise people as a medical doctor is whatever drug you're taking, if you have questions, ask the doctor, and the doctor will tell you the drug they're prescribing for you. If you can't do that, there is a leaflet in the drug pack. Take it out, read it. If it will cause any of these problems, they will tell you, and then they will let you know. There are some beverages as well that can actually cause insomnia or sleep disorders. Yeah, so if you're taking a lot of caffeine, it can actually cause sleep disorder. If you're taking a lot of alcohol, it can cause sleep disorder.
Cola nuts. So that's
yes, cola nuts also. Yeah, it can cause sleep disorder. It contains caffeine, and they are like we've talked about alcohol, smoking as well. Actually, nicotine can affect the pattern of your sleep, and it can cause sleep disorder.
With all these causes, when is it right to seek a medical
advice or medical help?
Medical help.
Okay. When you find out that you find it difficult to sleep, or you can't sleep at all, for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, and you've done everything you possibly can, you're trying to readjust your lifestyle, your habits, you've tried to put all of that in place. When you're finding out that, okay, none of this is working, then yeah, you definitely have to go see a doctor. When you find that with all your best efforts, maybe you can only get about 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night, then yeah, you definitely have to see the doctor.
And when you experience such, is it right for the patient to prescribe drugs for himself?
Self-prescription, no. I wouldn't think that's wise. So what we advise is get to see a medical professional, see a doctor, and then they will try to find out exactly what the problem is. Because there are a lot of times where we want to see how we can help patients without drugs. That is usually the best course of action, the first best course of action. So when we try to do that and we see that there is no way forward, it's not working, then we begin to look at other options, which includes drugs. But one of the first things we would like to do is to try to get the person to be able to sleep without drugs.
Without drugs.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the maximum hours one's supposed to sleep in a day?
Maximum. Okay, let me start this way. Minimum, we are looking at 6 to 8 hours. That will give you proper rest time. You get. So between 6 and 8 hours, it's okay. For children, yeah, we're looking at definitely around 8 hours or more. Even for adults, if you can get good 6 hours, that would be great. That was what we usually advise. But we all know that because of schedule and work and all of that stuff, it's difficult for people to get 6 hours. If you can do 6 hours, try to do that. If you can do a little bit less, maybe 5 hours, then
people that live in the busy city that are busy, you don't expect them to start sleeping for 8 hours.
Well, my recommendation would be let them try to sleep for between 6 and 8 hours. If they can get 6, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be great. But even if you can't get that, try to reduce stress so that for whatever time you're sleeping, you're actually sleeping properly. You're not having interrupted sleep or anything like that. So if you can do all of that, then at least you would have gotten good
sleep.
Yeah, good sleep.
If you can sleep for 6 hours or a good sleep, it will help you.
Yes,
and this can still help you when you get to the office too.
Yes, it enhances your performance. You'll be able to work better when you've actually rested properly. You get. So if you don't rest properly, it's going to be difficult for you to be operating at your maximum or your optimum at the end of the day. So getting a proper sleep is actually a vital part of the human experience.
And this sleep disorder can still affect a driver, especially those that are always on the road.
People will travel a lot.
Yes, we can. Yes,
we can have sleeping disorders. The thing is, for some people, maybe they have to work at night. So because of that, it's kind of like difficult trying to really get proper sleep and all of that. Even during the day, it's a little bit difficult. But what we usually advise is try to get as much sleep as you can.
Okay.
You know, if you can do that, then you should be okay. Because what happens is, if you get used to a particular way of sleeping, it becomes a pattern for you. It becomes a pattern for you. So for some people, because maybe they work at night a lot, they're just used to sleeping in about 2 or 3 hours. If they sleep more than that, it feels a little bit discomforting for them. You know,
yes,
yeah. So it gets used to a particular, the body gets used to a particular pattern. So we're trying to discourage us from getting used to that pattern, because when we don't sleep properly, it affects our mental output, it affects our emotional output, it affects our physical output. Yeah. So when we don't sleep properly, we have some of these problems. If we can, we should try to make sure we do.
Well, obviously, just joining this program is Ask the Doctor, and today we've been looking at sleep disorder. Well, we're going on a short break. After the break, we're going straight to our health tip. More of this when we return.
Hello, boss, you have one text message. Hello, boss, you have one text message. You have a text message. Hello, boss, you have one text message. Hello, boss, you have one text message. You have a text message.
ABN Insight from African Broadcasting Network.
To the Daughters of Sarah and Family Agent Series, Stella Calabi is my name.
Keep watching ABN Sports. It's a clash of the titans.
You don't serve a dead God. You serve a living God. He is the same yesterday.
Well, wherever you are watching, this is Mama Haley Nation, all the way from Warri, Nigeria.
And made Eldorado, the magnificent and golden.
ABN News.
At this time,
Welcome to Sunrise Eagles Devotional.
Velvet Room. Now, you can hear from the mouth of the icons themselves.
Are you a kid or a teenager? If yes, looking for something captivating?
Hello there. You're welcome once again to another episode of Health and Fitness.
sit down with entrepreneurs and they encourage you on how to develop your own entrepreneurship business. Keep watching. Let's talk.
Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that health tips. So for doctor, for those who do not know more about sleep disorder, so how do we know if they are having a sleep disorder?
Okay, that's a very good question, actually. One of the ways to know that you're having a sleep disorder is when your normal pattern of sleeping has been altered. For instance, usually when you sleep, you go to bed and a few minutes you sleep off. But you begin to notice that for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week or more, you find out that when you go to bed, it's getting more and more difficult for you to sleep off. Sometimes you're in bed for like an hour or more before you actually begin to sleep, and it's becoming a pattern in your life. You begin to know that, okay, it seems like something is wrong. So a sleep disorder is beginning to come in here. Or for some people, they might not know, but their spouse or whomever they are living with can actually complain. For instance, someone who usually they just go to sleep and then they wake up, but now they're actually snoring more than.
But when people see someone
do.
snoring, they'll be thinking the person is not resting properly, or maybe the position is not well positioned.
Well, yeah, I would have gotten to the positioning, how positioning can actually help with snoring. But if someone who does not snore, all of a sudden starts snoring, and you notice, like, it's not like a one-off thing that just happened in one of those days, but it's persistent, then you know this person's actually begin to have a sleep disorder. Yeah, so one of the things we can do for snoring, someone that's maybe sleeps and then facing up, you can prepare to sleep on the side, and that can actually help with snoring. Yeah, that can help with snoring. There are other sleep disorders we talk about, like sleepwalking and all of those. If that you notice, the person might not know what's happening, but if there's someone else in that home and the person notices, then they tell you. So when that begins to happen, becomes a pattern, you notice that this person is developed or is developing a sleep disorder.
Okay. Can our day-to-day activities
affect our sleeping pattern? Yes, our day-to-day activities can affect our sleeping pattern and then lead to a sleep disorder. For instance, if we involve in a lot of stressful activity, it can affect our sleep at the end of the day. You know, you might find it difficult to sleep, you might not be able to sleep at all because you've been stressed a lot lately. For some people, women mostly, when they are pregnant, they might find it difficult to sleep at night because of the pregnancy. You know, it's foreign to them. It's not something you're used to every day. You know, so the body is going through a whole lot of changes, hormonal changes, physical changes, and all of that. So it disturbs their sleep. Yeah, so that kind of activity can affect women. Yeah, and for some other people, maybe the kind of day-to-day activity, like the drugs you're taking or the kind of alcohol and beverage you're consuming, and all of those things can actually affect a person. Then someone who is probably not particularly a lot of exercises, and person is adding weight, a whole lot of weight for whatever reason, that could lead to other sleep disorders like sleep apnea or snoring or any of those sleep disorders. So being overweight can actually lead to that.
Okay, sleep disorder, does it cut across to all age?
Yes, it cuts across to all age, every sex, whomever you are, wherever you are. It can affect anyone. So yes, it can affect children with parainsomnia. Can affect children. You can see some children, they're sleepwalking, or they're bedwetting, or they're sleep talking. You know, their sleeping patterns begin to change.
Everyone does that, even adults. Yes, some adults they do that.
The truth is, some people do.
It's common with children.
Yeah, it's common with
most
children.
Adults.
Some adults do, but it's not normal. It's not everyone that does it. So for some people, it's actually a sleep disturbance, or it can be a sleep disorder. Mostly when you notice that it happens almost every time, it happens a lot, then yeah, it's a sleep disorder. So all of those we categorize as a parainsomnia. It happens with different people.
Oh, okay. So what about treatment? Are there treatment for sleep disorder?
Yes, we have treatments, we have managements, we have different steps you can take to actually
let's know the steps.
Yes, to actually make your sleeping disorder better. Okay, for insomnia, for instance, we can advise that try to reduce the amount of stress you're going through at that particular time. So if people can succeed in reducing stress, they might be able to overcome insomnia. That's one. Then there are some drugs that you might be taking, probably drugs for asthma or drugs for hypertensive heart diseases, or drugs for different kind of illnesses that might be affecting your sleep. Yeah, so for those particular kind of drug, we'll try to say, okay, reduce or stop that particular drug you're taking. That doesn't mean you should go off your drugs. What you should do is you talk to your doctor. If the doctor looks at it and finds out that a particular drug is affecting your sleep at night, then it would change it to another kind of drug that would not affect your sleep. So that doesn't mean you should stop taking your hypertensive drugs or your drugs for your asthma or anything like that. No, that's not what you should do. You talk to your doctor, and then your doctor would fix whatever drug you have, probably change it to a better one, to a better option for you. Usually that's what we advise. So if it's as a result of drugs or whatever thing you're taking at that particular time, we say try to stop it or reduce it. If there are other activities that you're doing that's affecting your sleep, like consuming alcohol at night before you go to bed, or caffeine, or smoking, or other things that you do, we'll try to say stop that. So lifestyle and habits can also cause sleep disorders. For instance, we'll try to advise people who notice that it's difficult sleeping at night. We'll try to tell them to not do any other activity in bed apart from sleeping. For instance, some people like to, stay in bed and watch TV. When your mind is active, as at when it's supposed to be sleeping, it won't try to sleep. You get it? So if you're watching TV and then you're engaging your mind, the mind will not think, oh, okay, I'm supposed to sleep, so let me go to sleep. So it's going to stay awake because it has something else to do apart from sleeping. Yeah, so we'll try to tell people, reduce those kind of activities. Get used to the bed is for sleep. You go to the bed and then you sleep. Reduce those kind of activities in bed. Then we'll also try to advise, get involved in exercises. Most people say get engaged in at least, 20 to 30 minutes of exercise daily. If you can do that, that will actually be able to help you to sleep and to sleep properly. You'll be able to sleep and sleep properly. For some people, the reason why they can't sleep properly, it's probably because they've gained weight or they are overweight. And sleep disorders like sleep apnea or snoring and sleep disorders like that, it could be as a result of the weight gain. So we try to tell them to look for ways to reduce or lose weight. So if you can get involved in exercises, check your diet and all of this stuff together, it will help people lose weight. And when they lose weight, they'll be able to correct the particular sleeping disorder that they are having. So these are some of the things we can actually do to treat or to manage sleep disorder.
This cut across to children?
Yes, it cuts across to children. But usually with children, most of the time, the reason why they might be having problem with sleep is not stress per se. Some of the problems that children have are stuff like parainsomnia, sleepwalking, sleep talking, bedwetting, and all of that stuff. If it involves bedwetting, you try to make sure the child does not take a lot of fluids late in the day. Because even for adults, if you notice that you're always waking up at night to go pee or to go ease yourself, you'll know that you're not sleeping properly. And if that continues for a long period, it becomes a pattern. You're not able to sleep properly. So we'll say, don't take a lot of fluids, towards the evening. Eat earlier, eat earlier and then reduce the amount of fluids you take, even for children as well, that are bedwetting. So when they do that, it will help them be able to sleep at night. And there are some other things as well. We already talked about the alcohol and beverage, and for some people, a simple massage can actually help them. For people that have insomnia, it can help them know how. It can help their body
relax.
Yes, relax. There are some chemicals that are released during a massage therapy session. So when you do that, it helps the body relax, and then it can help you sleep properly or sleep better at night. So all of these different things. For some people, they like to sleep with the lights on. That can actually affect or cause a sleeping disorder for some people, not everyone. For instance, one of the research I was reading was talking about how when you have bright lights on, your body and your mind thinks it's daytime, and the daytime is for work.
Okay.
You get, so you don't feel like I should be sleeping. You're feeling like I should be working.
Okay.
So even while you're trying to sleep, your body is trying to stay awake.
Okay.
You get it? So if you notice that maybe it's finding it difficult sleeping and the light is always on, put it off. Or you can have a dimmer light in the bedroom, stuff then that can help sleeping. Then for some other people as well, it could be the mattress. It's not comfortable.
Okay.
Or the pillow. It's not very good. It's so because of that they can't sleep because it's not comfortable. That's why you notice that, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but it happens to some people. Maybe you go to visit somewhere and you get there and you really can't sleep, and then you're tossing and turning and tossing and turning because it feels like it's not, it feels like it's not comfortable.
Like if I'm outside my house, I don't know what to, in fact I don't sleep.
Yeah, it feels like it's not comfortable, so you know you can't sleep because maybe the mattress is not comfortable or the pillow or so if you notice that is the situation with you, change your mattress, change the pillow, change whatever you can. Then some other people, because of some prior illness that they might have, they can't sleep at night. People that usually have chronic pain, they find it difficult to sleep at night because of the pain. The pain keeps them awake. You know, you're suffering from arthritis or from lower back spasms or from some sort of chronic pain that affects the person, and the person cannot really sleep. So they wake up in the morning and then they are complaining of not sleeping at night because of the particular pain that they are going through. So having chronic pain disorders can actually lead to sleeping disorders.
Okay, doctor. Well, doctor, before I let you go, your advice to the public.
Okay, I would like to say sleeping disorder can be a very serious illness. So for people, if you know you're having challenge sleeping for one reason or the other, first you can see your doctor, and that doctor can help you pinpoint exactly what is causing your sleeping disorder and then give you advice, probably for some advice that we forgot to talk about on the show today, or we just didn't mention. Your doctor can actually tell you more you need to know about sleeping disorder. Then try to rest as much as you can, try to relieve stress as much as you can, try to do exercises and other activities that will help you sleep better at night.
Well, try to rest very well and do activities like exercises when you're not sleeping. Please avoid self-medication, and in case you experience that in your child, please take that child to the doctor, because the doctor knows more about sleep disorder than you. Doctor, thank you very much for being our guest today.
You're very welcome.
And I know next time we'll call up on you. Hope you'll be there for us.
Well, I always love coming to ABN.
Well, viewers, thank you for watching today's program. Ask the Doctor, we come your way, same time, same station. And Ilo Okwonemu.